had 6 overdoses since 6 a.m. this morning.
It's another crazy day for Jason Lynch's crew from Number 2 Fire Hall. In the heart of Vancouver's downtown east side, they work out of Canada's busiest fire station. Though they hardly ever put out fires, these days they mostly save lives.
Hi, how are you? Good, Dr. Sutherland. You guys seem like you have a handle on this whole situation.
More often than not, the patient has already had a first shot of naloxone by the time they arrive. It's what first responders call Narcan, and it's the antidote to opioids like heroin or fentanyl. A local doctor was already working to revive this addict. Nurses ask us to back away and protect the privacy of their patient.
Hey!
Within minutes, he's back. When Narcan works, that is a good call. Sometimes it doesn't in a province where a state of emergency has been declared because 2 people are dying every day.
It's very difficult, to see humans in that kind of trauma and, in that kind of situation. You're walking into an alley that obviously has a lot of different smells going on in it, a lot of rats, there's needles, there's garbage everywhere, and you just walk by lines of different people shooting up, and then, you treat the third one on the left, and then it's just a matter of time before the first 2 go down as well.
This is an especially busy day because it's when people line up to get their monthly welfare checks. Welcome to Welfare Wednesday in Vancouver. All that cash on the streets mean fentanyl dealers are busy and first responders are in high demand.
Do you want to go to the hospital and get checked out?
What the hell is the news crew doing here?
Hey, out, man. Out. Hey, come on. Out.
And their next patient was already revived by a neighbor in a tent city.
Can you guys get out of there so we can get in there?
Down here, naloxone kits are free to any addict who wants one.
Are you guys out of Narcan down here? You gave her 4 shots of Narcan?
She's oblivious to her soiled shorts, the blood dripping down her leg, and the thick smell of human waste.
Yeah, she definitely get checked out.
They're trying to convince her she needs to go to hospital before the Narcan wears off and she passes out again.
You don't have a choice. You're just going to OD as soon as it wears off?
We just want to take you to the hospital and get checked out, if that's okay.
They have been here many times. Some are repeat customers.
I personally Narcan the same 24-year-old girl twice in the last month, and it definitely it wears on you. It wears on your soul and on the conscience, just looking at the same person over and over again, doing the same things, and we're putting a small Band-Aid on a big cut.
She cooperates, but their next patient will be more challenging.
2 doses of Narcan. Let's get him on his back. You want to get an OPA in, Connie?
After 2 doses of Narcan, he is still not moving.
Do you want us to bag him?
You guys are like the pros now.
We are.
And you did get 2 doses.
Nothing is working. The paramedic decides to try something new, the nasal version of naloxone.
Pick a nostril.
Oh, there we go.
EOD, buddy.
You pick a nostril and then they wake up?
It worked, but not on their next call, which takes them inside a shelter where a man happened to be walking by after using a new, stronger batch of fentanyl. Staff asked us to stay outside while they get to work.
Pulse is 100. Got more Narcan? So we walked in and the patient was barely breathing and his oxygen saturation was down to 60%. And he had taken some fentanyl and he was told it was stronger fentanyl and a lot of people were overdosing.
But this patient was not responding to Narcan or painful stimulation.
So the basic ones are a sternal rub, a knuckle in the rib cage, a trap squeeze, or rubbing the pen on the outside of the nail. All of them are extremely painful. And I think we were doing 3 of them to the guy at once for about a 5 to 10 minute period and he didn't even move.
Finally, he grunts back to life.
Well, we got that. There it is. What's up? You overdosed. You gotta stay up. Stay awake. Keep those eyes open.
I'm not joking. You took a ton of Narcan.
Luckily, say firefighters, staff here are trained to administer a first life-saving dose of Narcan right away. They do it all the time.
We've had about 240 different interventions in 2016 in terms of naloxone alone. And each one of those are life-saving interventions that our staff have quite bravely been a part of. And, it can be very daunting to administer a needle to somebody if you're not a health-trained professional.
We had to administer 3 separate rounds of Narcan, which is a total of 0.12 Narcan. And we were bagging him for probably about 10 minutes before he came out of it.
So he nearly died.
Close, yeah.
The difference between life or death in an overdose comes down to minutes.
So luckily he felt he was going down, so he walked in to look out here, one of the clinics downtown, and they were able to administer the first dose of Narcan.
Workers at shelters and clinics down here are the unsung heroes in the fight against fentanyl deaths. Now that naloxone is available without a prescription, anyone can use it. So workers and other drug users themselves have saved hundreds by giving the first shot before the paramedics and firefighters even arrive.
I've got people on the front line here that have done 20 plus, and you know, those are the Narcan warriors that have just continued to keep people alive long enough in the hopes that they're going to make better choices in the future.
This is our 10th time doing it today, so it's a daily routine for us.
Natalie Clancy, CBC News, Vancouver.